Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about the Cloverfield monster along with the recent events of the Cloverfield Paradox movie. I'll also be mentioning the recent Godzilla animated film, so if you haven't seen either of these, be warned there will be major spoilers ahead. So with the recent release of the Godzilla animated movie, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, we have the biggest Godzilla that we have ever seen. It was almost like there was a contest to see who could make the largest kaiju, because it wasn't too long after the Godzilla anime premiered on Netflix that we got another giant kaiju that may just make that Godzilla look like a child. With the Cloverfield Paradox, we get a version of the Cloverfield monster that has to be one of the biggest movie monsters ever seen. At the climax of the film, we see the two surviving astronauts from the Shepherd taking a landing capsule back down to Earth. As they come upon a layer of clouds, an enormous head of the famous Clover monster pushes up through the clouds and gives out a massive roar. I recently put up a video on the channel showing the size of Godzilla Earth as compared to his other versions. It's been one of my highest viewed videos, already nearing 2 million views. I started to notice comments though from you guys mentioning that as big as this Godzilla is, the Cloverfield monster is much larger. So I thought it'd be fun to take a look at all the information that we have so far to see if we can come up with a decent range of just how big this Clover monster actually is. First off, we have no concrete numbers on the Cloverfield monster's height as it stands in the Cloverfield Paradox. The baby from the original 2008 film stood at only 240 to 300 feet tall, or 73 to 91 meters. Yet for this video, I don't want to look at him and say he was a baby, this is an adult. In my understanding of the Cloverfield Paradox, this is an alternate dimension from the one that we saw in the 2008 film. Because of that, as crazy as it sounds, this enormous Clover that we see in the Cloverfield Paradox could be a baby. Since we have no real figures on size from the movie or anywhere online yet for our new Clover monster, let's take a look at two possible hints that may give us a general size of the creature. When looking at the last scene with Clover, I want to focus first on the landing capsule itself. We know from the film that the capsule is scheduled to make a splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Delaware. With the film taking place in the year 2028 in its universe, just how advanced are their landing capsules? The technology of this version of Earth is hard to judge. They've been able to create something as amazing as the Shepherd Particle Accelerator, yet at the same time they've had massive resource issues on the planet, so other areas of technology beyond the Shepherd may be well behind what they are here on our Earth. All of our Earth's current landing capsules that we use have a parachute landing system. NASA's Orion lander uses parachutes, and so does the Boeing-made Starliner capsule, while the Soyuz capsules use parachutes along with a rocket-assisted landing system. The SpaceX Dragon capsule initially planned to use a rocket landing system, but they have changed focus and are now using a parachute-based landing approach. SpaceX claims that they were able to do a rocket landing, but the safety risk was too high considering there are living astronauts inside the capsule. I'm mentioning all of this because the capsule as we saw it penetrating the blanket of clouds just before the Clover monster stood up through them had no chutes deployed yet. I would even note here that the Soyuz capsule that uses rocket assist for its landing is used for landing on solid ground and not the water. Even when SpaceX was looking at using rockets on its Dragon capsules, the plan was to land on solid ground. I say this because they mentioned the capsule in the first film is going to splash down in the ocean, so I doubt they're going to be using rocket assist, but due to this being an alternate universe, it can't be completely ruled out. For the sake of this video though, I'm going to assume that the capsules will be using parachutes to land. Now with the Boeing Starliner capsules, its chutes deploy at around 28,000 feet. On the Orion and the rocket-assisted Soyuz capsule, it's closer to 25,000 feet. Dragon capsules have been dropped at 14,000 feet or close to 4,200 meters and landed just fine with parachutes. So if we take the information we see from the cloud cover as well as the information from the landing capsules, we can come to a decent assumption of just how tall this Clover monster actually could be. Landing capsules, even when rocket assisted, need around 4,000 meters or so to slow down and land safely. Now this version of Earth has 20 years on our current technology, but as I spoke earlier, it's really hard to judge where their tech is at. Giving them a slight edge on our universe for the extra years, I'd say their chutes would have to open up at around 6,000 meters down to a minimum height of close to 4,000 meters. This height falls right in line with alto cumulus clouds. These clouds are a middle altitude cloud, normally occurring in the 2,000 meter to 6,000 meter area. They also have the ability to build up into sheets like what we see in the Cloverfield Paradox end scene. Now, I'm no cloud expert, but an altocumulus blanket of clouds could match up with an altitude in which a capsule may not have opened up its chutes yet. So we take what we know about the current landing capsules on Earth, as well as these clouds, and this puts our monster at a height range between 4,000 to 6,000 meters. We don't even know if Clover is standing on land in this shot or if he's actually in the Atlantic Ocean. If he's in the ocean, then we can add even more height to him, seeing as part of him would be underwater. Godzilla Earth at most is around 400 meters tall, so that makes this Clover, if he's standing on land, at least 10 to 15 times larger. If he's in the ocean, that number could be even higher. Now, I know there's a lot of room for play here. I'm no NASA or cloud expert. Those clouds could be stratus clouds on the surface of the ocean, and Clover himself is mostly underwater, which would make him much smaller, but then you'd have a capsule smashing into the water with no chutes or rockets either. I don't think when they made this movie they sat down and looked at cloud types and altitudes, and I'm not too sure they looked at current landing capsule techniques either, so these numbers could be way off. But either way, this version of Clover has to be the biggest kaiju we've ever seen. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these height numbers, as well as your comments and questions down below, and as always, I'd like to thank you for all of your support, likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions. Take care everybody, and I hope to see you next time.